to talk over me? Why don't they know what's going on? Because they're busy talking over me, not allowing me to say anything, not allowing me to give details, not allowing me to give names, trying to bully me when I do. This shit ain't okay. When a crime is committed against an at-risk and disabled, whether they're homeless or not, they're still a disabled adult. When they're only a disabled adult, when you can prevent them from speaking by claiming that they're schizophrenic, you done fucked up, son. Especially when I recorded the fact that all you did is talk over me. You get to hear all these punk ass little bitches saying, oh, there's nothing I can do, there's nothing I can do. Bullshit. If I was somebody you actually gave a shit about, you'd stop playing stupid. Every fucking retard knows that when you're fucking being abused, you call 911. When you're called mentally ill, you have to call with someone or you'll get taken advantage of, stupid. People pretend that I don't have disabilities because I'm intelligent. Then, of course, when they can use it to try to prevent evidence from showing up in court, all they got to do is pretend that you're schizophrenic. Infer that you're schizophrenic. This shit's not okay. It's not okay. Fuck this goddamn country and fuck every one of you in it. You're shitty people. Now, where am I right now? I'm in the Masonic building. You get to see these pieces of shit at Tides of Change. I went to them about Murphy and Molly almost a year ago. Newspaper, I went to them, well, probably around the same time. About 8 or 9 months ago for each of them. Now, what happened because Tides of Change, Monica, and let's go get her. We're going to go write it down because I got to include it in a place, if I ever am allowed a place to do that, in peace and quiet, where I'm not stuck in public having to look over my shoulder for Farnsworth or that dude in the fucking goddamn Dolphin RV. We're also going to post up a few crimes for you. We're going to post up now some of the hate crimes that are being committed against me. This video is called Kyron Rhodes. Was that you screaming anti-LGBT slogans at me? Tillamook kids corruption. From an attic in Chapel, Ku Klux Klan robes, bits of Nebraska history. That's right. Here's the name of it. You notice it's got 3 Ks in corruption, 3 Ks in Tillamook, and 3 Ks in kids. No, they're not all kids. Now let's press play. 264 LET. 264 LET or 264 LFT. It's a silver pickup, and it is not the same one that drove by earlier saying the curse words. It's not the same one. It actually turned out to be the same one. I just couldn't see the lights from the angle. Who are you? Well, now you're on another live video. Put me on there again. You're on here. You're what? You're on here. You're on a live video. You pulled up on me while I'm recording a live video. You are literally on one right now. And see, that's the thing. You need to stop harassing me. Stop yelling racial slurs. Stop yelling F words at me. Go. You ain't got no reason to bully me. You ain't got no reason to intimidate me. Now let's take a look at this vehicle right here. Whether you're a minor or not, you're committing a crime. Now get the hell out of here. Leave me alone. 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 Leave me alone.
To commit crimes against me over and over again.
Leave me alone. Make me. Make me, bitch. Make me. Get out that fucking car and make me, bitch. Now you're gonna make me leave Tillamook County? You're gonna make me leave Tillamook? You're gonna make me? You wanna keep on threatening me? You wanna keep intimidating me with your little pearl horn and your little rally and your racist bullshit, you fucking coward? You learned that shit from your bitch ass mommy? Huh? No, Jesus Christ. Let's make sure we get his license plate number. Oh yeah, do it. This guy right here. Yep, it's 264 LET. Yes, 264 LET. Yes, Toyota Tacoma. Yes, sir. And that is the lights above the friggin' tires, so yeah, that is it. Yeah, you're just not as good.
Pattern roads
is
colored, not
we
white.
got these little punks in this little town think this is okay. Think that bullying people is okay. Think that being racist little shits is okay. Guess what? I will fight to the death, my LGBT friends. To the death. I will be as vocal as I have to be. I'll be as vocal as I have to be to protect my black friends. Even if that includes standing in between their assailants. So let me get this straight. No straight nothing. No straight nothing. You was anti-LGBT stuff just a minute ago. I got it recorded on my channel. Now you coming over here and harassing me, and your friends in the Toyota Tacoma, the red one, coming by and fucking calling me the N-word, and then people in the dented fucking silver car doing that bullshit too. You need to knock that shit off. You're pissed off because you got recorded being assholes. Well, maybe you shouldn't be a fucking asshole. I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me the fuck alone with that bullhorn bullshit and that fucking racist bullshit. Knock your fucking shit off. Knock it off. Knock it the fuck off. There's a reason that you're being recorded, and it's because you're a little fucking shithead. You gonna run me out of town? You gonna shoot me? You gonna beat me up? Or you gonna run your fucking mouth, you little bitch? Huh? How the hell you gonna get me out of town, motherfucker? How? By running your goddamn mouth? By being a fucking punk? Huh? That's right. At least you fucking admit it. Fucking punk ass. Jesus goddamn Christ. Running their goddamn mouths. Holy fucking hell. Keep running, motherfucker. Keep going. Keep going. Keep it up. Keep it up. You like bullying people? You like harassing people?
You like raping people?
Really? You're the ones down there on video bragging about raping people. You are in those videos. You. Now knock your fucking shit off, motherfucker. You're a little bitch, motherfucker. You're a fucking mouth. That's all you are. A bitch-ass little mouth, just like your mommy and daddy taught you to be. Do you like your truck?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I got that KKK.
Jesus goddamn Christ.
Get your fucking shit back.
You're a bitch, motherfucker. You're a fucking bitch.
Yeah?
Yeah. At least you admit it. Fucking punks.
Go fuck yourself, Sean, you motherfucking faggot.
Jesus goddamn Christ. Welcome to Tillamook. In the land of the free and the home of the punk-ass little bitches.
You like my sense of humor?
So we got another license plate or another punk. Y'all enjoying this? You having fun with it? I deal with this everywhere I go. Not allowed to defend myself, not allowed to speak up, and you goddamn right, I record every fucking thing. Like I said, these shits are openly racist. Their parents taught them how to bully as bitches in groups. That little fucker didn't come up alone.
He had a
But
little
here's
bitch
the
in
other
the
thing,
passenger
is that
seat.
that's not Kyron Rhodes' vehicle. So it's a good thing that we were able to identify that it is not Kyron Rhodes, and we were able to get his driver's license, or his license plate number. Fucking bullshit.
I didn't get to see his passenger's face. The passenger was wearing a hoodie and cuddling up real low against his fucking lap.
My gay friends say, man, you got no idea what it's like. You sure, motherfucker? And my black friends, they say, you don't have any idea what this is like. You sure, motherfucker? Ain't no reason for these little fucking shit breaks to be still going around starting this shit. Ain't no fucking reason for it. Oh yeah, retaliation. Pissed off that they got fucking busted being racist little fucking shitheads.
Also, we've got at least 30 instances where those little shitheads wanted to offer me sexual favors, try to push sexual favors onto me, or, of course, try to tell me that other people wanted to give me sexual favors. And since it's recorded, it's kind of difficult for them to pretend it didn't happen. Except many of them did pretend it didn't happen, didn't they? They've been racist little shitheads screaming racist bullshit since before I ever talked to them. Yeah, they're sarcastic little assholes with absolutely no respect. Let's go across the street here. We're going to make sure that we get Monica's last name written down. Well, somebody's angry and yelling. Very cool. Now, with these racist kids down here and me having them recorded with their little wannabe KKK rally with the bullhorn, and then last night pulling up and wanting to threaten and intimidate me and call me the N-word, and then also the anti-LGBT slogans, and yeah, I kind of expect this from a town like this. There's lots of nice people, but no good people. It's a KKK town. What do you expect? Now, of course, that's not enough of a hate crime for anybody to give a shit about, is it? This is Tides of Change. This place right here, it says everyone is welcome here. This is the Masons building. Do they care about human beings? No, they don't. No, they want to exploit children and use them as pictures. Monica Bernal. Bernal. She's the lady that I spoke with last year with Officer Martinez. Right through that door right there. For the most part, they only give a shit if you're on drugs, because there's a lot of money from the state to be paid out for that. But if you're somebody like me who doesn't use drugs, these services don't care. They want you to be a drug addict. They want to be able to write down that you're a drug addict. It's an extra $15,000 a year per patient. $15,000 a year. That's more per year, per person. That's more per month, per person, than I make in disability. $15,000 the state pays out for their drug treatment plans. But what about somebody who's not on drugs? They're not going to prioritize the victims of these drug addicts, are they? They're not going to prioritize the actual victims of violent crimes, are they? They're certainly not going to prioritize the people most likely to be victims of violent crimes. The homeless, the disabled, and men. So let's make sure we write down the name Bernal. B-E-R-N-A-L. So now we know Monica Bernal's name. Now, in order to make a report, we've got the last name to add to it. We're doing good. I had it written down on a card. Several cards, actually. It wasn't until the third or fourth visit with her, me being insistent every single time, hey, I need you to do your job as a mandated reporter. All right, I can't defend myself. I can't do this civil stuff. And that's what they all prey on, is that without the resources to do so, the resources that were taken away from me, I can't defend myself. I can't protect myself. Now, with each of those places, all of them being in the news, every single one of them, what were they in the news for? Well, you have to look at it individually. Ooh, I found a big-ass spring and a screw. Those are definitely both not good for a tire. So it's a good thing we got them picked up. Now, this is Tides of Change. This is where I went last year, turn in that Murphy fellow. Let's take a look at this. You see that? Tides of Change. Tides of Change. Now, Monica works in this building. And also the editor of the newspaper, his girlfriend works in this building. You see all those we're inclusive bullshits? How inclusive are they really? You got to hear the racist crap coming out of that youngin'. You got to hear the hateful crap coming out of that youngin'. Now here we are, just a couple of doors down. Same building, Headlight Herald. See? Now, of course, at the very beginning of this video, I played for you that silver Toyota Tacoma, that young man who came up to me and wanted to, well, yell a bunch of anti-LGBT stuff at me and stop and threaten me and intimidate me. And of course, he didn't do a very good job, did he? Of course he didn't. Now that rally that they held the other night, I'm gonna play that for you. You guys can hear them yelling the N-word, and then you can hear their bullhorn. I get that people don't like to be recorded. I get it. I totally do. But they wanted to be racist little turds. And yeah, I'm not going to just ignore that. I'm not just going to ignore hate crimes. I'm not just going to ignore the number of times that they have stopped a homeless person to bully them. Now we got Monica's last name written down. Obviously, it's unsafe for me to go there. The moment somebody starts playing stupid, that's when I have to dip out. Because when somebody starts playing stupid, that's a precursor to them playing victim. And most of you don't get that. You don't get social cues. In a live video, you are literally on one. Let's make sure we fast forward this hit. Yeah, your youngins are pretty shitty. All right, right here. Pick
pickup, and it is not the same one that drove by earlier saying the curse words. It's not the same one.
Oh, you're making live videos about me, huh?
Who are you?
Now, mind you, this recording was last night here in Tillamook, Oregon.
Now you're on another
Tillamook
live
Sporting
video.
Goods Park. No, the
You're on here.
grocery
You know what?
outlet.
You're on here. You're on a live video. You pulled up on me while I'm recording a live video. You are literally on one right now. And see, and you need to stop harassing me, stop yelling racial slurs, stop yelling F words at me. Go. You ain't got no reason to bully me. You ain't got no reason to intimidate me. Now let's take a look at this vehicle right here. Whether you're a minor or not, you're committing a crime. Now get the hell out of here. Leave me alone. 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 Make me. Make me, bitch. Make me. Get out that fucking car and make me, bitch. Now you're gonna make me leave Tillamook County? You're gonna make me leave Tillamook? You're gonna make me? You wanna keep on threatening me? You wanna keep intimidating me with your little bullhorn and your little rally and your racist bullshit, you fucking coward? You learn that?
Alright, so now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go to the video where they wanted to have their little mock KKK rally. Their parents must be so proud of them. Does the KKK give out merit badges for having your first rally? And why is it that they're having their first KKK rally about a white guy? This is just insanity. I take it they've had to be in the closet for too long to remember how to do a proper KKK rally. This is not the first time I've stood up to the KKK. Chapel, Nebraska. If you look up Chapel, Nebraska, Nebraska's largest collection of KKK memorabilia was found where? In the attic of Joel Jay's office. Hello. Still breathing. Thank you for asking. That's right. That's a screenshot on multiple videos that I've gotten. I took that directly from Omaha World Herald. That's right, the Omaha newspaper. Now we can sit here and play through this racist BS, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to type in the word Misty Potter. Sean David. We're going to press on this. Now, as soon as I press this, keep in mind that if you've got sensitive ears or it's going to hurt your mangina, I highly recommend that you stop playing this video right now. Put on your sound-proofing headphones. Stick yourself in the closet with the lights off and rock back and forth until it's over. Oh, come on now. My phone froze up.
So,
Now we're going to fast forward this to where the issue is, ain't we? Oh, that ain't it. That one's only an 8-minute video. It's this one, Misty Potter showing I told the truth.
is.
We'll fast forward it to 46
The
minutes.
N-word already.
Oh, there it is again. Go back it up. I guess I didn't back it up far enough. 45:50.
Abuse. You're not a friend.
This is the KKK rally that they wanted
If
to
any of
have.
them
It was
youngins out
cute.
here were victimized in a serious way, do you really think I'd just stand here and watch? I'd pull out my camera, I'd start recording, and I'd make some real loud fucking noises. I've done that time and again on my channel. You can see it with your own 2 eyes and hear it with your own 2 ears. I get the attention of the predator. I get it focused on me. Oh, looks like there are a bunch of youngins here tonight. They're not yelling. They're not screaming or shouting.
Perfect timing, right?
Well, there they start with the N-word already. course they're not yelling at me. Of course they're... Alfie Templar typed, yeah, stand in line 6 feet apart, stand in doorways, don't breathe. That's right, and no cigarettes unless the lights are off and under the blankets. Them youngins are...
There's the bullhorn.
Now, wasn't that cute? First thing they do when I come into view is start yelling racist slurs. And then, of course, there's the megaphone thing.
They started off screaming the N-word at me. How do they get off saying they're not saying anything racist when the first 3 things they screamed at me was 3 people screaming the N-word?
Take a look. We'll even zoom it in on them.
Quit fucking filming us! You know how am I riding the film? Please go away!
This is really what Tillamook, Oregon is like. People teach their kids this racism here. They teach them that it's okay.
I think it's funny. It's entertaining to them.
Yeah, that's right. That little rally that they had there with all that racism, that was here in the Tillamook. This is here in Tillamook on August 30th this year. August 30th. How long ago was August 30th? Was that last year? Was that 10 years ago? Was that 20 years ago? So y'all got a bunch of pretty sayings and pretty memes that you believe fix every goddamn thing. You already know it doesn't fix a goddamn thing. You're just a punk-ass little bitch who doesn't care about anything but yourself. You can see out here how people always want stuff, always making fucking promises, always. But they don't keep their goddamn word, do they? Did Christian keep his word? No. Did Chris keep his word? No. None of these people did. As far as when somebody's being victimized, yeah, they need help turning it in right away. And those of you who want to be angry that it's posted publicly, you made it that way. When you lied to me, cheated me, stole from me, wasted my time, made everything about you. You goddamn right I speak up. My fellow countrymen are a bunch of cowards. All these people that I stand up to are big enough to beat me up. Every one of them. Oh, you like my socks? They're pink. You know what color the cover for my pepper spray is? It's pink. Guess what color my earphones are? I'll show you. You noticed in this video I was making fun of y'all with the soundproofing headphones? Wearing soundproofing headphones will get you shot by police in the United States, so it's probably a good idea as an autistic person not to wear them in public. Unless you're with someone. The only thing that prevents us from being victimized or shot by police is you. That's it. People go back to what's familiar to them. Now, how am I supposed to get anything done? Well, I'm having to look over my shoulder and having to record everything. Them youngins' behaviors are the reason that I started recording in that parking lot all the time. I kept on driving around my vehicle and yelling stuff out the window like white power. Screaming the N-word. We also got the Scudders on my channel. Have they ever tried coming forward with me to the police? No, they haven't. Instead, I end up usually going and doing what they want me to do. As far as these disability places go, making the calls by myself is immoral. I can't do it. I can't take care of myself. There is too much for anyone to possibly go through this all, let alone if they're fucking homeless. Jesus goddamn Christ. And these little shits think it's funny. They think it's entertaining. You pretend like if you harm me to the point that I can't function, that it makes it okay. And it don't. I tell you all about the dangers of 988 suicide hotline. But what are we going to do? See, it's not just suicide hotline. It's also a crisis line. And for somebody who is autistic in crisis, their crisis is nearly always because of abuse, because of neglect, because of being talked over and talked down to and given pretty fucking memes as a fix-all for every goddamn thing. You get to see how people who are highly predatory towards me in the past, people like Shea Burton, how for her, she's got PTSD, oh poor her, bat my eyes, bat my eyes. Which calls me mentally ill and I need help. Well, we can both agree on that last part. But it ain't going to be coming from a bully like you. You give somebody a tiny taste of what you're going through and they start bleeding out the mangina immediately. You know they ain't for you. You know they ain't your friend. When they want to tell you how to think and how to feel and a tiny taste of what you go through every day. And they start staining the floor red with pantyhose drippings. Does that sound derogatory, disrespectful, rude? Well, you goddamn right it is. You expect me to say nice things about cowards? Are you fucking kidding me? You want me to say nice things about bullies? Are you fucking kidding me? Why was Shea Burton a bitch to all of us? She wasn't. It depended on who she was dating. Theo empowered her to be a piece of shit. And he's the one, apparently, that gave her PTSD from beating on her, from choking her out in front of God and everybody. Choked her out in front of at least 30 people. And several of those people come up to Starbucks to talk to me. You know? Tell me what happened. Why the fuck you coming up to Starbucks and telling me that one of my bullies got choked out by another one of my bullies? That's a win-win fucking situation for me. That is a win-win goddamn scenario. Is that how I fucking treated it? No. Of course, it's not the way I treated it. You don't go beating on women like that. You don't go choking people out. If it's over, it's over. Just fucking leave. Boulder is big enough that you can travel to another part of Boulder and not have to deal with any of that BS. So why don't you just do that? Now, why did I get involved? Because he made it bad for all of us. And because violence is wrong. Unless you live here in Tillamook where they have KKK rallies. Literally. That rally that you heard, that bullhorn, those racist words, that was on August 30th of this year. August 30th of this year in the Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot. I'm a fucking junkie because I'm homeless. And then you send me to junkies for peer support. Meanwhile, I don't fit in with these fucking junkies. I'm not a junkie. These professionals that I'm sent to are pawning me off on literally anybody but themselves. You don't like being recorded. Well, maybe you shouldn't have fucking committed the goddamn crime. You ever think about that? Not sure if you noticed, but crimes I do commit, I fess up to. If I commit a crime, it's out of fucking necessity. Where the hell's my goddamn lighter? It's 11:47. I'm supposed to meet Brian. If he shows up, this will be the first time he ever actually showed up. I'm not holding my breath for it. Sorry, day before yesterday, for example. When I went down to talk to Care, you get to see why it is that I'm not okay with Care. Did I get a room in peace and quiet by myself? No. Did I get to talk to that lady or get my photocopies? No. What I got was some fucking dipshit coming in and fucking talking over me and downplaying everything I'm saying. What a fucking piece of shit. Meanwhile, the cops go out of their way to play stupid about hate crimes. Yes, my life is at risk. It has been at risk since Natalie Bollinger tried to pretend that I stalked her all the way back in 2016. All it takes is one little rumor getting out of fucking control to destroy a man's life. Women don't have to deal with that. They're assumed to be the victim in every single situation. This is why women are more likely to commit crimes than men. Women are 11 times more likely to be stalkers than men. That's right. They're also a lot more likely to get their friends and family and extended friends and family involved in destroying his life. And if he has any sort of reaction whatsoever, you abuse him. I'm not allowed to have any sort of human reaction to abuse. Reporting hate crimes. In an emergency dial. Oh, yeah, they don't give a shit. We already tried 911, haven't we? Report hate crimes to the FBI. We tried that. Mandy Singer tried that with me. It's impossible to get it working. She couldn't even find the fucking website. She had to type it in multiple times. Bias motivated in a hate crime. Bureau of Justice Statistics. Five ways to improve hate crime reporting. Tillamook results. How to report criminal activity. Well, when the criminal activity is committed by law enforcement, by Tides of Change, by Care, you're going to get sent to law enforcement
Tides of Change and Care. Ugh. How to turn in hate crimes in Oregon committed against an at-risk adult. Let's see, what does it say? You see, in order to do this internet stuff, I need peace and quiet and a room to do it in. All this electronic evidence, I have to try to remember every single name, every single date, every single time, the name of every single predator. I have to know their names and addresses, their mother's maiden names. I am expected to know every goddamn thing about my predators before I am allowed to fucking turn it in. Oregon Free Legal Answers. That doesn't get me in contact with someone who will help. The victims' rights advocacy place is just going to play fucking bullshit. So who are we calling? We're going to call 988 because that's who the autism advocacy places are sending us to for help. 988 and suicide prevention line. So let's call these pieces of shit again. Let's see.
You've reached the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Para
And
español,
crisis.
marque el número 2. To talk to the Veterans Crisis Line, press 1. To connect to support for LGBTQI+ youth and young adults, press 3. Otherwise, to talk with a counselor, stay on the line or press 0.
We'll press 3
To
even though I'm
improve
old as fuck.
988, your call may be monitored and recorded. We are checking for a counselor who is available to talk. You'll hear music while we do this, and we'll give you an update in 30 seconds. You are not alone.
Like hell I'm not.
And want to support you. Someone will be with you soon. We are continuing to check with counselors for someone who is available to talk. You'll continue to hear music and we'll give you another update in 30 seconds. If you are in the process of a suicide attempt, please call 911. Otherwise, please stay on the line. We want to help and we'll have someone available.
What
as soon
you
as
pieces
possible.
of shit. There we go.
We know your call is urgent, and thank you for your patience. If you prefer, you can text 988 to reach a counselor, or please stay on the line to be connected.
I pressed 988, dipshits.
This is Morgan. What's going on?
I'm experiencing a lot of
Hello?
hate crimes. My name is Sean.
You're experiencing a lot of hate crimes? Your name is Sean. Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Yes, ma'am.
And how old are you, Sean?
I'm 42.
Okay. And what city and state are you calling from?
I'm in Tillamook, Oregon.
You like the ice cream?
Do what?
Like the ice cream or the cheese? Tillamook?
Yeah, they make the cheese here.
Okay.
It's a KKK town.
That's really hard.
It is. I
In
keep
a place
getting
that has a... Oh, go ahead.
I keep getting bullied for being gay, and I keep getting bullied for when people are racist around me. I know it happens if I don't speak up. It allows people to think that it's okay, and they'll do it again. So when people say the N-word, I tell them I don't like that word. People call me the N-word in Chapel, Nebraska. They call me N-word lover. Here, they're just calling me N-word. They had a little mock KKK rally on April 30th here, calling me the N-word and calling me a pedophile and calling me a rapist. And I also had to deal with that last night. And I've recorded multiple situations with these things. I've gone to the cops, and no matter what, instead of investigating the crimes, they want to send me to mental health. Mental health tells me it's not their job to investigate and that I got to go to the police. But the police send me right back to the mental health, and the mental health places send me back to the police. I've got at least 100 recorded situations where people have called me the N-word here, and several dozen situations where people want to be homophobic towards me, and I'm not some sort of a horrible monster out raping and murdering and molesting children and stuff. I'm just a dude.
I hear you. Yeah. I'm just living your life.
Well, no, I'm not living a life. I'm victimized everywhere I go. People don't understand how important it is that a disabled person is being victimized, that they have a friend or family member there to help, and all of my friends and family members are drug addicts. Who am I going to go to for help?
Yeah, and that sounds like a huge struggle to
You don't have to fight for the right words to say to me.
inhospitable.
I did the whole suicide prevention thing in Boulder, Colorado for about 4 years. I also was the homeless liaison in Boulder, Colorado for 7 years. The thing is, I don't need people to... When somebody is being victimized, especially if it's an autistic adult is not likely to be heard. We're likely to get talked over. People get bored with us when we're talking because it's not interesting to them, or we talk too much about things they don't care about. The problem is that doesn't help us. There's also the fact that all of our autism helpline places are sending us to either suicide hotline or 988 when we're in crisis. But the problem is, when we're in crisis, we're not trying to kill ourselves. We're being victimized and we're trying to get heard. And nobody's hearing us. That's why we have meltdowns. Nearly every one of us with autism, especially high-functioning autism, have been diagnosed with PTSD. And there's a reason for that. Most of us commit suicide or attempt suicide for a reason. It's because we're not heard, just like every other person who kills himself. But we're 12 times more likely to be beaten. We're 12 to 15 times more likely to be raped. The problem is that I'm still dealing with the hate crimes. I've got hate crime after hate crime committed here against me that I've tried to turn in, and police, instead of doing something to help me, they bully me and send me to mental health, and mental health says they're not even allowed to tell the police that it's not their job, so the police stop sending me to them. I need help stopping the abuse. I need help stopping the assaults. I need help stopping the threats. I shouldn't have to get on YouTube and scream at the top of my lungs about what a horrible place it is.
Mm,
Your tone sounds
agree.
bored.
What?
I said your tone sounds bored.
Did you say my tone sounds bored?
Yeah,
Okay, I
it's all right.
apologize. I am interested. I do hear you.
Last night
do
I
hear you.
recorded
As
a
far
young
as-
man who pulled up on me and was threatening me, calling me a racist, calling me the 3-letter F word. They've been calling me the N word for right around 11 months. The guy last night who was threatening me, he was in a Toyota Tacoma, silver Toyota Tacoma. There's also a guy in a red Toyota Tacoma and a guy in a black Mercedes Benz. There's a guy in a Honda Passport, a guy in a Toyota Dolphin. I have all their license plate numbers, and I've been trying to turn it into the police and all the agencies that I'm sent to, but they're all playing stupid, like they don't know what their job is to do for an at-risk adult, or pretending that a hate crime isn't a hate crime because it's a KKK town.
Right.
I was
And
stuck.
it's incredibly unfair for you to have to go through. It's incredibly not okay. It's not the way it's supposed to work. And sometimes that obviously doesn't end up mattering. The way that some towns and some systems, and let's be real, a lot of them
Yo,
work, is against those who have been marginalized, those who do need help, those who need the most help.
my gay friends won't include me in the
back
LGBT
and
community,
forth
and
to
my
each other.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're okay. Keep going.
My gay friends say I'm not part of the LGBT community, and same thing with my trans friends. But my hetero friends, they don't include me as part of the hetero community. And to be honest, I'm not interested in men or women. I think mucus is gross. So like that just
Okay. Yeah.
takes people out of the picture as far as that goes. I don't like being touched because I'm used to people hurting me. Most of the time when people touch me, it's not to give me a hug. It's to give me hate and to do hateful things to me. Now, the only thing that's been protecting me is the fact that I record everything when I'm able to. But the thing is, that only stops people partially from assaulting me. It doesn't stop people from harassing me to begin with. And if I don't have my camera rolling, people are more likely to assault me. And I never wanted to go public and record everything everywhere I go. But after my friend Natalie Bollinger got her brains blown out, like people started trying to pretend that I was some sort of a stalker or rapist or murderer and all sorts of other creepy stuff, pretending that I couldn't take no for an answer. I'm like, I was never interested in Natalie that way. She was a friend who was suicidal. And that sucks because she got her brains blown out by a guy named Joseph Michael Lopez. And I have to deal with people everywhere that I go being able to harm me because the police aren't going to listen. And all anybody ever says is to move somewhere else. Well, moving somewhere else doesn't stop the hate. It doesn't stop the abuse. It just allows them to get away with it and think that it's okay. Here in Tillamook County,
Yeah.
I need somebody to come here and take the situation seriously. And nobody in Tillamook County is going to do that. And I can't go above their heads because it's required of the Tillamook County Police Department to do their jobs and sign off on it before any of these other agencies will take on the case. So I
Yeah,
need,
that's incredibly frustrating, and it doesn't serve the people that it's supposed to serve.
it doesn't. And it also sucks that I've been sent repeatedly to suicide hotline and 988 for crisis situations as an autistic person, because as an autistic person, when I'm in crisis, that doesn't mean that I'm trying to kill myself. Most of us, we kill ourselves because we're bullied to it. And we're bullied to it because nobody cares. And although it says on paper that this is wrong, it doesn't matter if the police hate homosexuals, or if they hate the LGBT, or if they hate people that are homeless, or if they're playing on the bias against men. to blow us off and not do their job and then just say, oh, he's mentally ill.
Mm.
Not being interested in
What?
sex doesn't make me
The
mentally
victim
ill.
is not. Sorry, say that again.
I said not being interested in sex does not mean that I'm mentally ill. Not being interested in sex
Are you
is not a mental illness. Meanwhile, mental illness is not a diagnosis. It's a
agreed?
bullying tactic.
Yeah.
When you have somebody who's autistic and somebody is able to infer that they must be schizophrenic by calling them mentally ill, that's gaslighting, and it prevents the victim from being heard. And they're more likely to take this stuff out on somebody like me because they know I won't be heard. Now, this stuff started all the way in Virginia in 2016 with Natalie
Okay.
Bollinger. And she was able to make a phone call. Well, her sister was able to make a phone call to Boulder, Colorado, where my support network was, and have druggies there hurt me. A year after she did that,
That's intense.
she got her brains blown out. Macintosh Dairy, December 29th of 2017, outside of Thornton, Colorado. She was wearing a black hoodie and black pants, black shoes and mismatched socks, and she was on her knees when Joseph Michael Lopez took her boyfriend's 9mm Glock 19, stuck it up to her left temple, and pulled the trigger.
Okay, I hear that. That was an incredibly impactful death in your life and murder in your life.
It still
I can
impacts me
only.
because people pretend that I'm a stalker and a rapist and a murderer over that. They caught the guy who did it.
Mhm.
I get to deal with people who accuse me of stuff that never happened. Things that she never claimed happened, but it's because she's dead. So they get to say whatever they want, and they get to hurt me whenever they want and pretend that I'm a bad person for speaking up to the police or speaking up on YouTube when the police won't do anything. Now, my automatic go-to is to try to record 24 hours a day, and I can't do that because my battery dies.
Mhm. I do want to just double check with something that you said
No, I am
earlier.
not trying to hurt myself or anyone
About
else. I already know the protocol. No, I'm not thinking about harming myself or others. Go ahead.
I thank you for that clarification. I was just going to ask if you are thinking about killing yourself.
Yes, ma'am, I've been through this routine before in every state that I've had to stay in since Natalie got her brains blown out.
Mhm.
Before she was killed, I had to go through it too, where people, if I go in with a friend or family member, they have to take it seriously. But if I don't, the abuse is ignored and they only care about the secondary parts. Am I thinking about harming myself or others? You know what happens when a victim calls in because they're being harmed, and then you ask them if they're wanting to harm themselves or others? They get locked up. They get given a fucking tag of being mentally ill. They either get homicidal ideations or suicidal ideations. And that makes us look crazy for the rest of our lives and allows our predators to hurt us for the rest of our lives. Because not one of these lines, not one of these calls, not one of these mental health places cares if the victim is being harmed if they go in alone. Those two questions aren't the questions that should be asked. Are people hurting you is the question that should be asked first. I did this in Colorado.
I hear that.
So one of the things that, for me, having to go through all the psychology stuff and then looking at the way that it's actually applied, the way that it's applied gets victims killed. It gets them discredited and forces them into a life where they're going to perpetually be victimized. When I was in high school in Chapel, Nebraska, they called me N-word lover. That was my name there. Either that or they called me the three-letter F word, and that was pretty much it. Before I was there, I was in Lincoln High School in Tacoma, Washington, which is 81% minority, and I'm a white guy. Meanwhile, I'm told that repetitive and perpetual racism against me by calling me the N-word or calling me N-word lover is not racist because I'm the wrong color for it to be racist.
Definitely sounds like it has impact on you. That being around people that are racist and that include you in that racism because you don't feel the same way has been extremely impactful and harmful to you.
Well, the problem is people keep trying to downplay the impact that it has, trying to pretend that it doesn't have an impact. They either pretend that I shouldn't have emotions because I'm a man, or they pretend that because I'm autistic, I can't have emotions. And that's bias against disabled people. It's
not true, right?
But I talked to the cops about it here. And of course, I've also got witnesses here that have spoken about the situations with the KKK rallies or the KKK meetings that they hold at the St. Albans Church. And that, the police have responded to KKK issues against minorities here and told those minorities that they were with the KKK. Lewis and Cheryl are two of the witnesses here that happened to. Lewis was an alcoholic and he was sent to an AA meeting in order to complete his service and get a signature. And it said that there was a KKK meeting, or it said that there was an AA meeting at the St. Albans Church, and he went, and that's not what it was.
I hear that. That's not at all okay.
I agree. But also,
what's happening in your town?
It happened in the last town I was in, and the one before that, where people try to run me off, and then they don't want me to record, right? So they come and yell at me for recording, and the thing is, I wouldn't have to record if crimes weren't being committed against me. I wouldn't have any of these recordings, the recordings of people calling me the N-word, that they're going to come back later and threaten my life because they hate that I was recording them. Well, maybe they should have thought about that before calling me the N-word. And then I have a stuttering problem. So if I'm overwhelmed, I can't speak at all. I know that my words aren't going to come out right, and it's going to be used against me, and that's taking advantage of my disabilities as well. When a victim goes in, the last thing that you want to ask a victim, you don't grill them as if they're a horrible person. You don't say, well, are you sure you didn't ask for it a little bit? That's never okay. By the way, Natalie Bollinger was a victim of her own family. They couldn't stay off the drugs, and neither could mine. Me and Natalie were both trying to work together. She was my best friend, and I was the only guy in her life that wasn't after sex. She was even raped and molested by her own dad. He even had her have sex with people because he had his drug debt to pay off. And I have evidence of all of it. I've got evidence of child abuse. There was a 14-year-old girl here who was assaulted in the Safeway parking lot on October 23rd of last year. Her name is Mary Jane Robinson. Her assailant's name is Mike Reeves. She was trying to tell on her stepdad.
Yeah, it sounds like you've experienced so much mistreatment and unfair treatment, and you've witnessed so much of that during your life. We talked a lot about what you've gone through, and I'm curious, after this call, what can you do to help yourself move through this moment?
I'm trying to turn this stuff in to every single person that I've ever been told is a mandated reporter in this state. Making the calls repeatedly and explaining that I'm having to deal with these hate crimes, and the police aren't listening. They're just pawning me off on mental health. Mental health isn't doing their job to help me. All they're doing is sending me to therapy over and over again. Or they have somebody sit down and talk over me for 50 minutes and then tell me that my session is up because I've had my 50 minutes, and send me back in 30 days. Now, I've already shut down one facility. There's a place called Clearview Behavioral Health in Colorado, and although I'm not the one that literally shut them down, I'm the one that told on them for what they were doing with the Medicare and Medicaid fraud. And I'm also the one that was telling on them for not having professional staffing, not having proper doctors on staff ever, not even visiting with staff, drugging people without their consent, holding patients for longer than they should to get the Medicare and Medicaid money. And the thing is that the services here are doing the same thing. They're committing Medicare and Medicaid fraud against at-risk and disabled adults. Instead of investigating crimes against us, they're making a profit.
Right. I hear that. Have you been able to report them?
I've tried to. I've been given the runaround. I'm told that I have to turn the police into themselves by the state troopers, and the state troopers, it actually is their job to investigate corruption. But they won't do that until the sheriff signs off on it. Well, I tried to turn in the last sheriff because the sheriff's department, different officers were, instead of giving their taking the drugs to the drug lockers, they were using them to elicit sexual favors out of some of the homeless women here, or other types of favors. And I have a lot of people recorded talking about that.
Okay. Have you, so I've heard that you've gone through like government channels and that type of thing, and it's really frustrating when those are not, they don't do what they're supposed to do. They aren't doing the oversight they're supposed to be doing, that kind of thing. It can be really frustrating. And given that we're a national line, we don't know we aren't legal experts. So we can't really give legal advice. But have you ever talked to like organizations like the ACLU?
I've tried. The thing is, with the tag of mentally ill, nobody is going to listen to me. I can barely speak most of the time, and I'm lucky I was able to make this call today without tripping over my tongue 400 extra times. But you also listened better, and I think that has a lot to do with the part of the line that I called, because I get bullied a lot. You know, a lot of the stuff that you guys are trying to do is detrimental and harmful to the victim. The other thing is that if it's a crisis line and we need 911 and 911 won't do the job and we're told to go to a crisis line, that crisis line doesn't help if they're trained the way that you guys are. And I don't mean offense by that. You don't get to choose your training. But the other thing is I've called repeatedly to get mandated reporters to help, and they're not, and that includes the 988 line. This is probably the 40th time that I've called them since I got here to Tillamook.
Okay.
Law enforcement here won't do the
Yeah,
job.
I hear you.
Job. Tides of Change won't do the job. CARE won't do the job. Northwest Senior and Disability Services won't do the job. Tillamook Family Counseling Center won't do the job. TCCHC won't do the job. I've been to all of them. The Health and Human Services won't do the job. They send me around in circles saying it's everybody else's job. But I've got enough recordings to show that it is organized crime. I'm just not heard because of the mentally ill tag.
Okay. Would you like the number to the ACLU just to see if there is something that can be done on their end?
I've already called the ACLU almost 100 times, but I'll call them again. Let me get a pen out and I'll write down the number that you have, because I have 6 different numbers for them.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me know when you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking for a pen now. The problem is all of you are referral services, and I'm calling you because I need help turning in crimes that are committed against me. The ACLU claims that they only take on class action suits.
Okay.
I have that recorded from the ACLU hotline. That doesn't mean that I'm not willing to call them again. I call everybody that I'm told to. That's why I have
Mhm.
literally thousands of phone calls recorded. Go ahead.
Has anybody? Okay, it's 503 227 3186.
Man, my life is in danger from this abuse. I mean, like, it's in danger
I hear
right
you.
this moment from it.
Okay.
It-
Is there somebody there right now that is threatening you? Just so I know in this moment, is there a active, present threat to your life?
There is an ever-present threat to my life because of this abuse and because of the slander. I have to deal with this every single day, and yes, it is always a danger to my life. I don't see any of my predators around immediately at this moment, but the thing is that by the end of the day, I'm going to have to inevitably deal with more of this. More hate crimes, more of the screaming, more of the shouting, and I have to be afraid to go to police no matter what.
Mhm. Have you ever talked to an organization called Unite Oregon?
Yes, I have. I have them on one of the phones that I
Okay.
have, but I'm willing to call them again as well.
Okay.
The problem is it's the weekend
Okay.
and my safety has not been a concern for 11 months of abuse, 11 months of having my
I hear
life
you.
threatened here, 11 months of being stalked.
Okay. Is that a number that you would like again, or do you have
Yeah.
it?
If I don't call the numbers, then I get told that I'm not making the effort. So yeah, I have to call them.
Mm. Okay. That number is 503 287 4117.
4117.
If you're willing,
What's that place called again? What's that
4117.
what's that place called again?
Unite Oregon. It's an organization that fights for social justice throughout the state.
Yeah, I know what they are. I've called them before. I just wasn't sure. There's like 8 or 10 different places with very similar names, and they all say that they don't give legal advice. They're
For sure.
referral services, which makes it very complicated.
Okay, I hear that. Yeah, I hear you. I also, given that you've said that you've had trouble with 988 in the past with people being inappropriate or it not being helpful and being treated poorly, I do want to let you know that you can go to 988lifeline.org.
I can't. I don't have the access to it.
There.
I don't have the access to do that. I can't possibly do any of this stuff that I need to do for myself because all of my access to my internet, my housing, and my computer was all taken away from me. I can't find the time to do all of the internet stuff I'm being told to do anyway, and that's why I make the calls. That's what I have the accessibility to do. I have physical disabilities as well, which really sucks. And my disabilities are not taken into account.
I hear you. And that it sounds like a very frustrating, unfair, and inhumane system
I agree.
that is in existence.
I was gonna try to get
I hear
my
you.
phone running so I could play the hate crimes for you so you could hear the maliciousness of it, the frequency of it, how often it happens.
I believe you. I believe that that's happening. I believe that you're telling the truth. I don't need proof. I believe you. And we do try and keep details of some of that stuff out of conversations for the sake of being able to continue to do this work. So if you were to play it, I would actually have to ask you to stop. Not because we don't believe you, but because it's just part of our system, okay?
The problem
There's
with that,
also,
that's why with
well,
mandated reporters keep refusing to do their job when I tell them about crimes committed against me as an at-risk adult. And that's one of the things that they do is they say, oh, well, we're not allowed to look at it. Well, the thing is, if they're not allowed to look at it,
we're not mandated reporters.
I wasn't talking about you, and 988 Lifeline are mandated
Okay.
reporters. That's why you asked the question if they're thinking about harming themselves or others. If they answer to the affirmative in either one of those, you are required by law to call 911. You're required to actually turn it in if somebody
I
is
hear that that's,
thinking about
I hear
killing
that that's
themselves
the
or others.
understanding that you have of the program.
That's because that's what happens every single time. I'm not even allowed to say something that sounds like I might be saying something like that because, ma'am, the term mentally ill is used to pretend that I'm a violent psycho and I shouldn't be heard. And that's the way it happens. I don't get heard.
I hear you. I do hear you. I believe I'm comprehending. And I agree that there is a lot of stuff that is wrong or incomplete about the programs that are available, the systems that are available to you.
That's because they're all
And it-
referral services that send us to somewhere else, who send us to somewhere else, who send us to somewhere else, and we end up right back at the very
Okay.
Meanwhile, those of us who are broke are told, well, we get to see on the news that people go to prison for the stuff that's done to us every day, except they don't care when it happens to us. They only care when it happens to someone in a house. If it happens to someone like me and it's all over the news like it was, and it's all over these true crime things like it is, yeah, I'm made a target and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
Okay. So we've given you several resources,
You've
and
given
I
me
know
phone
it's frustrating.
numbers.
I hear that. And at this time, yeah, we'll give you a chance to reach out to those places. We appreciate your call, and we're here 24/7 anytime that you're in crisis. Our specialty is suicide crisis, but we're here anytime that you are in crisis.
Well,
Right.
I would appreciate it if you guys would get a hold of all these autism places and let them know that you don't have the training to assist somebody who is autistic. That being sent
Okay, I hear
to
you.
988 Lifeline
Thank you for
is
your call.
inappropriate for us. Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for reaching out and speaking with one of our counselors today. Please take this 2-minute survey to tell
Yep, that's the reality of the situation. 1% battery, so I gotta shut my phone down.